faster than the light.
Than the speed of light. And the speed of light, you know, yeah.
Very well. Okay. All right, Maria's going to lead us in prayer.
Lord, we ask you to send your spirit of servanthood upon all of us gathered here this evening to do your work for the benefit of all in our community. We ask you to bless our elected and appointed officials so they may deliberate with wisdom and act with courage. Bless the members of our community who come here to speak before council so they state their cause with honesty and humility. Lord, we ask you to bless us all and that everything we do here tonight will move you to welcome us one day into your kingdom as good and faithful servants. We ask this in the name of our brother Jesus. Amen.
Amen. We have a Boy Scout to lead
The
us
Boy
in the
Scout is
pledge.
going to lead us in the pledge. Yeah. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have the minutes of the March 26th regular council meeting and the April 9th work session. Anybody have any corrections? If not, minutes stand approved. And I have a proclamation, which I'm not going to read in its entirety, but it's recognizing the village of Greenhills Arbor Day, and it will be on May the 10th, Arbor Day in the village of Greenhills, and this will be posted on our webpage and in the public posting places. Is that right? Okay. And actually, the print's too small for me to read. No. Without bringing my glasses.
We get it from the Arbor Day Foundation and
right.
Tiny font.
Okay. And before we go to citizens to address council, we've got someone from the library that wants to make a public presentation for us.
Good evening. How are you all tonight?
Good.
As you all probably know, I'm Jennifer Weichert, and I'm the branch manager of the Greenhills Library within the community building. So I just wanted to offer a quick update on some of the new things that we have going on and the new things that will be coming down the pipe. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to get answers for you. But I did want to say, number one, thank you for your all support last year for passing the library levy, as well as all of the citizens of Hamilton County that voted for that. And we're getting $19 million over 10 years, and it's going to be very exciting. So what we're doing is we're creating a facilities master plan, and that involves getting community input from every community in Hamilton County at all of our locations. We're working with a company called Group for Architecture and Research and Planning. They also helped build a number of other library systems, including Dayton, just north of us. But they're very experienced in helping us gather the information that we need. We haven't had this opportunity for a very long time, so we're very excited. The Facilities Master Plan is going to help us define what is a next generation library. The last time we really went on a building spree, Carnegie's were one, we had a number of others in the 50s and 60s as the population was exploding, but we haven't had the opportunity to really approach this systematically for a long time. So we're taking a year to really meet with all of the communities. All of this information is on our website. They are hoping to have all of the community meetings set sometime over the summer, June, July, and August. So those aren't set quite yet, but as soon as they are, we'll be letting you all know when ours will be and where it will be so that people can get involved. But they'll be at every branch and at the main library as well. And so we're just experimenting with what does a 21st century library look like? What are the challenges that are going to be coming along down the pipe? But we also do have a new director. Paula Grunbaker is the director of the library. She became official. She was the interim one from May, but she was confirmed in October. And she is leading all of this. And they have goals of maximizing access, transparency for everyone in the process, customer focus. The whole point of the library is for the customers who are there. Operational sustainability, we want to be able to keep this up year after year. Industry-leading excellence, and diversity and inclusion. So these are kind of the priorities for the whole facility master plan process. So right now, we're working on a few other things that we identified as being even more important than the facilities master plan. the ADA accessible branches, Price Hill, that you may have heard about being closed because the roof leak, as well as not having any ADA accessibility. So they're already working, have the architect already selected for Price Hill, and they're working on community meetings for Walnut Hills and Madisonville as we speak. There are also some work at the main library they're working on. We are not forgotten yet. Greenhills is part of all of this, but we don't have any specifics quite yet because we want to, of course, be fiscally responsible and all of those goals that we're hoping for transparency to get everyone involved for it. So please keep your eyes open, and we haven't forgotten about your all's generosity, and we really appreciate it. Two other things that we have kind of going on that are new. We are piloting a memory cafe at the Greenhills branch, as well as our Harrison branch and our Blue Ash branch. We're hoping to expand that to a couple of other locations in the coming year as well. And what a memory cafe is it's programming designed specifically for people with dementia or Alzheimer's and their care partners. It's meant to be a social place where they can come and interact, have a good time, because maintaining social contacts is of huge benefit, and they're part of our customer base as well. And we've already been working with Lois Alzheimer's here in the community as well. But this is kind of an expansion for the whole library system. And of course, as the population ages, this is going to continue to be a large one. But it happens on the first Thursday of every month at 10:30 a.m. And we just ask that if you're going to come, if you can let us know so we can sign you up on the list, and I can make sure there's enough coffee, cake, and donuts for everyone. And we have all kinds of different activities. We had a movie trivia for classic movies. We're going to be having historic games. We're going to be doing live music. So there's always something fun, new, and different. And each of the locations that have it have different programs as well. So you never know what you're going to get, but it's always a lot of fun. And I just wanted to highlight that that's a brand new thing. Harrison started it last summer, and we started it in November. And other than the 4th of July holiday, we will be doing that on the first Thursday of every month. And then, of course, the summer adventure is nearly upon us. That's, of course, the summer reading club. It's for all ages. It's going to be very similar to how we've done it in other years, where you come in and get a little passport, and each week you get a stamp and you get an entry into the prize drawings. And we also have a lot of really interesting programs for all ages that will be highlighted. I do write for the Greenhills Journal as well. So if you look in there, there's always a list of what programs we have coming up, and we'll have that ready to go for the June-July one so that everybody knows. And I just continue to be vibrant and busy, and quite enjoy being part of the community. So thank you so much for letting me come and talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions? Keep up the good work. Okay. Now, for public presentation, do you want to make yours now, or do you want to do it under citizens to address council?
I can do it now, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Cool. Have to sign in and everything, right?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Greg Hermes. I live at 52 Bayham Drive. And I have become a member of the Greenhills CIC, which is a Community Improvement Corporation. That's a nonprofit corporation. Never really knew what it all meant until I got involved with it. Christine Biscuit, she's been a part of it for the past 20-some years. And one of the biggest things that the CIC has done, this is the 22nd year of the Greenhills Continental Commons. And when we were having our latest meeting, they were having a discussion about having a little bit of exposure about the people that actually work for Greenhills, as well as serve Greenhills, like council people. And one of the things that we were thinking about is on May 29th. That's when the first concert is actually starting. That's a Wednesday. And they had mentioned about, geez, getting a hold of all the council people to let them know about this. And I just suggested, well, what if I just go in front of council and talk to them all at once, and hopefully everybody would be here. It's nice to meet Natasha. I never met you before. I knew all the rest of these Christmas.
It's my father-in-law.
Oh,
yeah.
hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. One of the things that we wanted to ask and would really love to have all the council people there on the first concert on the Commons on May 29th. So we can actually address the behavioral council people and tell them who they are, and you can be, exposed to the people there, because usually first concert's pretty big, and there's a lot of people from Greenhills who are there, they're all excited about the concert on the Commons, and it just makes it to where all of a sudden they can put a face with a name and see who's actually involved. I mean, I know you know a lot of different people that know you're on council, but there's a lot of people that you don't know, and they don't know you. So we thought that would be really a cool idea to be a part of that, and hoping that I can get a yes from everybody before I leave, because I'm not leaving unless I do.
I'll say yes so you leave.
Yeah. You haven't changed a bit.
I love you, man. Hey, well, I do have a question. In prior years, I got a fundraising letter for that, and I didn't get one this year. And actually, I saw Fred go, because I think a lot of years it came from him. If I'd like to make a contribution to your 501c3 to support the concerts, how would I do that?
What you can do is actually just whatever you want your donation to be, you can bring it up here to Greenhills and just give it to them in an envelope saying you're supporting the Greenhills.
And everybody listening tonight could do the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, anybody can, for sure.
Okay.
And Fred must have slipped up because he sent the letters out
Oh
again
yeah, he did already.
today.
Maybe I didn't give enough last year to get more to stick.
You're not making enough.
I'll give till it hurts. I'll give till it hurts.
Hey, you can go across the street and see him and you can talk to him.
I'll do that. I'll text him when no one's looking.
Yeah. But if you can, if everybody can, I don't know if you know your schedule or anything like that, because I know some of you people travel out of town. And, it gives us 5 weeks before it actually happens. Do you think you guys could all make it on the 29th?
I'm in.
Show of hands so I can.
And
Okay. You too, Mr. Halter, is that?
I'll be there. I'll
Okay,
pick up
you're
trash.
always on your phone, you never really address people properly.
I like him.
Well, that sounds great, I really appreciate that, we'll be excited to hear about it, because we're gonna have our next meeting before the concert on the Commons, and I'll let them know that you guys are all involved, and we'll be excited about that, thank you very much.
So,
Great. Thanks for your service.
will there be on-site babysitting for relatives?
Yes,
Okay.
I will be there, so thank you.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and state your comments or questions. This is not intended to be a dialogue with council or village staff. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for response. This will allow time for thorough and thoughtful consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. No? Okay. All right, moving on. Reports of village officials, municipal manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to update you, council, on a couple things that are happening. Our generator that I mentioned had been ordered a few weeks ago now. And the next step in the process, you'll start seeing that either later this week, but more likely into next week. They will be pouring the pad beside the building where the generator will be installed, and then installation will proceed from there. So we're getting closer to having that in place. Arbor Day, already mentioned, we're going to be celebrating on May 10th at noon at Pioneer Park. So I'll have something in the journal this next time on that, but give you a heads up on that. Also, a planning commission meeting has been scheduled for May 14th at 6 to begin discussions on the proposed new definition of a channel letter. Okay, here's a fun one. Work is going to begin on the pickleball courts, possibly as soon as this Sunday, but if not this Sunday, the following Sunday. So I'll keep you updated on that as soon as I get a definite there.
There's apparently a buzz on Facebook.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's popular already, so it's fun.
Nobody knows how to play it yet. So.
It'll be the fun of learning,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely. So, yeah, that should be a lot of fun. The street signs are going up. Hopefully you're seeing them. The service department's they're doing a great job with the installation. Each one is put into concrete, and they're leveling them nicely. They just look really good. We've been getting a lot of good comments on them already, so hopefully you have as well. Our Records Commission meeting's been set up for next week to review an updated retention schedule. So we're keeping after that a little bit more than previously because the types of records we have now changes so quickly, it seems. So we're kind of excited about getting that in place. Also, another effort that is just really going over well, about a week or so ago, I shared with you a new flyer that I was starting to send out on the garbage screening issue. I think I had sent out like 55 of them. I haven't done an official checkup because those individuals are given till like the 1st of May, but I can tell you, and just driving around and looking at some of the homes, it was just a matter of being educated because so many of them, it's just so exciting to see our residents choose to do the right thing. And those garbage cans are disappearing. So that's really great. The CIC, Greg has left, but I know the CIC and Greenhills Shine are starting to work together on ways to assist people in building their screening, or at least being a point of contact for somebody who needs some kind of assistance there. So their assistance is much appreciated too, and hopefully we'll have a lot of success throughout the village on that. So that's what I have for now. Thank you.
Comments or questions?
I just wanted to thank the CIC for the generous donation for the Harvest Fest. They had somebody from the meeting go there when they had the particular meeting was at the Troubadour, and I couldn't make it on time. So Kenny Burke was the one that spoke in favor of that, and immediately they said, no questions, no problems, we'll just write the check, and it would be in the mail for the village to receive. So thank you so much for such a generous donation. And we can use whatever we can and help out and defray on the courses of that. And this one was right on the island because I always say, hey, this is for music, the same as what they also collect the money for is for music in the village. So thank you so much.
I noticed that a resident had a concern about scrap metal coming around to pick it up and then leaving a mess by their garbage and stuff. I just want to make sure that the village is aware that sometimes when the scrap metal people come through the day before garbage day, they don't end up putting the garbage stuff back in the cans or in an orderly way. So I want to make sure that the residents aren't getting any kind of letter about stuff like that, or...
You know what? I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
I mean, certainly if there's garbage sitting there, they will have to pick it back up and put it in their garbage can if they want it to be collected, because Rumpke will not collect it.
Okay.
I don't know what else we can do on that. I don't know. I don't think we can prohibit scrap collectors from collecting.
The last time it was something that was not collectible and tried to take it from my garden, the World War II soldier.
Well, for anyone that is listening, if they would happen to notice a scrap collector coming around and making a mess, please call Greenhills Police right away. We'll respond out there and make sure we take appropriate action.
Thank you.
Okay.
And it's good that the golf course is open and the pool is being
Right.
prepped for the
Oh,
summer.
yes.
There's
I know,
sure
it's
signs
great
of
to see,
spring.
isn't it? Yeah,
So,
Finally.
it's great to see. You're not kidding.
Okay, Law Director Jeffrey Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. I think my report was distributed.
Yes.
Only one thing under the legislative update. I included it just because I think there is some municipal interest in that. Senate Bill 57, which was introduced, which will essentially decriminalize hemp and license hemp cultivation. I mentioned that I only included it because I think it is relevant because it, in part, is providing some clarification on some other related products and whether it is or is not controlled under the medical marijuana regulations of the state. One of the products that comes from hemp cultivation is called CBD or CBD oil, and you used to be able to get that at drugstores, at gas stations, and recently with the passage of the medical marijuana statute, the State Board of Pharmacy had taken the position that you could no longer sell CBD products in Ohio because you had to be it can only be sold at a licensed medical marijuana dispensary. There was a lot of dispute about that because I guess the other side of that would say that's not accurate because CBD oil or CBD products actually don't contain the active ingredient, the THC, that's found in medical marijuana. So even though it comes from sort of the same plant, it's a different product. This bill will now clarify that CBD products will not be governed under the medical marijuana statute. They'll be regulated under their own statute. But that's relevant only because for a while many places were wondering, what do we do about CBD products? Is it governed under the medical marijuana or not? If this bill proceeds the way it has been introduced, it'll give us some clarification on that. The only other thing I had in my report was related to the two pending legal matters that we have. We have in Anduan versus Village of Greenhills, the state court case. I do have some new information since the last time. I told you we were waiting for an oral argument date. It has now been scheduled for oral argument on June 19th. So sometime after that, I'll have more to report.
Would that be in Columbus or is that here?
That's here. That's the
here.
state court one. That's just
State.
downtown Hamilton County Court of Appeals, First District Court of Appeals. The federal case, I think the last time we talked about it, I told you that that the village that case had been dismissed on summary judgment, and that the appellant had filed a motion for reconsideration. That has since been denied. The appellant then filed a second motion for reconsideration, which was immediately denied. And at this point, we believe that the case is over. The only next place to go at this point is to see if the United States Supreme Court would take the case. But those are the two updates on those two cases. If anything else happens, I'll be sure to let you know.
Comments or questions? All right, moving on, Acting Clerk of Council, David Lumsden.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolutions 2019-08, 09, 10, and 11, and the community calendar were all posted as required. Thank you.
All right, Chief of Police Neil Furman.
Thank you, Mayor. We were pleased this month to receive 4 additional new portable radios. Motorola, unbelievably, just like Macy's or other sellers, has a sale once a year. So we always wait to get the very best price that we can. This year we even involved some competition among different distributors. I'm very pleased to report that our very own Mobilecom came through with the very lowest price. We saved approximately $4,000 by doing some negotiations and waiting for the sale price. And this purchase this year equips all of our patrol officers with new radios. So we're very pleased to have that acquisition, and I think that's going to keep our officers safe. The radios that had been carried were about a dozen years old, so these are all brand new radios. The old ones, Motorola is no longer making parts for, so as they have been disintegrating, we've been retiring those. So we're very pleased to have made that purchase. We have only one radio left to purchase. We'll probably do that either later this year or next year, and we will very cheerfully spend drug dealers' money to purchase that last radio. Speaking of spring and different things that are coming on the calendar, we're looking forward to our schedule of events since we're almost at the end of this month. Next month starts the municipal manager's first park talk. That's tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, May the 21st. We have a list of all of the other park talks that is in our monthly update. If you're watching at home, there's no need to take notes. All you have to do is look at our website and you'll find those dates. The one we're looking forward to probably the most is National Night Out, which will coincide with a manager's park talk, and we'll be out there grilling hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever else we can find, and having some snacks for our residents as well. And it was a lot of fun last year when we did it. We're looking forward to this one. We're also excited that Harvest Fest will be moving to the Commons, and there'll be some food trucks there, the run, the parade, many things to be looking forward to that are coming up in the coming months. Since it is spring, it's probably a good thing to note for anyone that might be listening about some driving safety tips. Weather's certainly a factor in spring. In our newsletter, we did point out the difference between a watch and a warning. Watches are what we typically see this type of year, or this time of year. Tornado warning is much more serious and usually only lasts for just less than an hour. But spring weather can be very unpredictable. It can affect things such as, you might not think of this, but when there's a change in the temperature, your tire pressure is greatly affected. So all of you, when you have a little spare time, make sure you check your tire pressure because harsh winter weather will deflate your tires. And as a plus, if you inflate them back up again, you're going to get better gas mileage. With gas prices being what they are, that's pretty important. So we ask all our motorists as school winds down, slow down, drive carefully, keep your eyes peeled for bad road conditions, and this is the time of year to watch out for animals. They're out in the road more often than not. One of the little good news stories that we always like to have is something that originated on Nextdoor Greenhills. There was one of our residents that posted the following on Nextdoor. She said, "I am in need of toys for a 2-year-old boy. Ones that make noise would be great also. Any summer 12 to 18 month clothes, any size 5 or 6 diapers. Anyone knows any of these items free or cheap, but let me know please." The residents in this community are very interesting. We have those that post when those things are in need, and then in the police department we typically see those that are standing ready to help. And before that post was probably half a dozen hours old, we had someone up at our window making a $200 cash donation. Said, "Go help that kid." So we sent an officer over. Tony Patton went over and saw that there was some true need there. And the following day, Officer Eric Tricase and I went out and we went shopping with Jalen. And Jalen got a number of clothes. I couldn't resist as a grandfather getting him some toys. He needed those very, very badly. And some diapers and other things that were necessary items. If you happen to take a look at our newsletter, you'll see a smile that'll just break your heart. He's a sweet little kid, and it just is such a good feeling knowing that we have people in our community that are stand at the ready to take care of others. And we very much enjoy being a part of that and being able to help out. In terms of numbers, during the past month, we investigated 3 accidents, 2 crimes, 398 other incidents. We had 589 contacts with our citizens. 297 of those were dispatched or received by telephone, and 292 of those were self-initiated by our own officers. We provided assistance to the public in 116 instances. We assisted other agencies 43 times, and we made 32 criminal arrests and 115 traffic arrests. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions of the chief?
I did have a question about the 2 license plate requirement. My understanding is that going into law?
It will go into law. Is it this July, Jeff?
I believe so.
I should say
Yeah.
1 license plate requirement.
Right.
Yeah.
But it won't be effective until next July.
Is it next? Yeah, I was thinking there was.
July 2020.
Yeah.
It's when the
But
license
it is
plate
going to
thing- okay.
happen. It will unfortunately cut down on how effective it can be in making some apprehensions, but it was part of the transportation bill, and politics being what it is, it was rolled in, and it was included.
Okay, thank you.
Chief, I saw that there were 15 drug arrests in the most recent report, which seems to be an uptick. Comment on that, or is that
There
Or is
were
this-
not any major drug arrests in terms of like a search warrant or a drug raid. A lot of these were marijuana arrests that were in public and drug paraphernalia. With the warmer weather, that will sometimes see an increase in those type of offenses.
Okay, alrighty. I've got the court receipt report for the month of March. State of Ohio received $2,463.50. Hamilton County, $94.50, and the Village of Greenhills, $15,176.04, for a total of $17,734.04, and that's the fines for the month of March. Okay, committee reports, Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Intergovernmental Affairs Laws and Rules did not meet this month, as we were only tentative to an agenda, and plus I was predisposed with a medical procedure, so nothing really to report at this point.
All right.
Congratulations.
What? Oh.
Congratulations.
All right. Service and Streets, Natasha Metz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to extend a thank you to the Service Department and the volunteers of Greenhills Shine for helping to get the village ready for spring. It's starting to look beautiful out there. Other than that, no update.
Okay. All right. Safety Committee, Melanie Hermes.
No real update. We'll wait until we have something referred to us to meet. I did notice that the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals just passed something about marking tires being unconstitutional. So I would ask that our law director would look into that and look at, I know that was for a 2-hour parking violation, so I'm sure it's different than our 72 hours or law, so just,
We're gonna look at it.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Finance and Audit, Glenn Dries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met today at 4 o'clock, and we had kind of 4 different agenda items. The first was the year-to-date expenditure versus budget. And we've spent 26.5% of the budget in the first quarter. And there's some seasonality to it, so we feel very comfortable on our spending. On the revenue side, first half real estate, tax revenue was just received at $381,000, and we are on target with income tax trending well. So those of you that got raises, congratulations. For those of you that got jobs, congratulations. So that's good. And just as a reminder, our income taxes are the largest single source of income in the village. This freaks me out, but, and that's not a finance term, but we've started work on the 2020 budget already. It is due down in Hamilton County by mid-July. I'm still writing checks that say 2018 on them. So we will have a public hearing on June 11th, 2019, as the opening, at 7 o'clock as the opening part of our council activities that evening, and that'll be for the public to comment on the 2020 budget. Then we looked at the 5-year projection. I think one of the jobs of the Finance and Audit Committee is to make sure that we're not only fiscally sound this day, this week, this month, this year, but for the long term. And we really haven't had any changes since what we reviewed at the council retreat. So we're still we've got to work our plan. There's not a lot of dollars that are floating around that don't have a name on them, but I think we're fine. And then the last thing was just a few items. The state of Ohio now requires us to have a credit card policy, so the finance manager is working on a draft for that, provided it to us, and it'll eventually, I believe that'll come before council for adoption, correct? But residents should know that it ain't easy getting a Greenhills credit card right now. They're locked up in a safe, and you got to go through Yvonne, so I think that says it all. And then we're working at switching the purchasing of alcoholic beverages at Spoils Fields through a company called FinTech, and this will alleviate handling of checks at Spoils Fields. So more efficient and a little safer. That's my report.
I know the Center for Local Government is collecting a lot of credit card policies. Is that on our behalf or someone else's behalf?
Yeah, I think now that everybody's gonna be doing one, they're collecting them for models.
Delhi Township did pass ours in January, so I did send that to the Center for Local Government. So don't reinvent the wheel.
Right.
No, this is a accumulation of
Okay.
other folks.
Okay.
And I think there are certain guidelines that you have to have a comment on this or that or whatever, so.
Yep.
Recreation, cable television, Maria Walther.
The next meeting for the cable Waycross is in June, and we are in continuous updates and preparations for the Harvest Fest and for the community days at the pool. And continue meetings with the staff about that. Thank you.
Okay. All right, community development, Jeff Alder.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. A question came in about the entryway sign. They were saying it's a little bit unusual to have the poles in front of the sign, and that was just mimicking the original. So when we designed those, we wanted to make sure that there was enough visibility and that, shadows and stuff didn't get in the way of the signage. So yes, that was intentional. I thought it was unusual to have the poles in front of the sign as well. And in the middle of looking at it, it just seemed to make sense to stay closer to the original because it was just a minor change. And it adds to the uniqueness of what we have as a community. Another thank you for Greenhills Shine and those of you that came out to help clean up. It was a beautiful day to pick up trash, and I think it definitely looks better. Thank you to all those that did that. One of the things I came across, and I don't know if it's the number attached, I'm assuming is a good way to identify the telephone pole and if that's unique to the pole. But the telephone pole behind the swimming pool, before you go down into the valley behind the pool, had the copper grounded wire snipped, and it looked like somebody thought it might be a good idea to take that wire with them. That pole number is N2316E. I do have a photograph of it. It seems like something we should contact and get that. Yep, have Duke take care of it. And my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Yvonne, but we need a harvest, during Harvest Fest, since it's moving to that time frame, we need a parade chairman. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I'm not aware that anybody's volunteered.
Okay, so just wanted to get the word out. If organization is your forte, be thinking about helping out the community and organizing that parade during Harvest Fest. I think pretty exciting to have it all bundled together. I know that it's a change, and changes always have downside as well, but looking forward to keeping the momentum going for Harvest Fest as well. And that concludes my report.
Okay. All right, new business resolution.
May I ask a question? On the entry signs, the two signs on Winton Road, are we on schedule to place the stonework around those signs?
There was weather concerns, it was pretty muddy for a while, but I'm assuming that we'll just.
We will.
Okay.
I think at some point there was discussion too, did people like them without the stones? Do you like them plain, or do you?
Yeah, I think that came up, and that along with the weather, and at the time we had quite a bit of rain, so we can discuss it in community development, and I would think we're going to probably proceed. I know Mike said that it might make sense to have the sign company do it because they've had a lot of experience, and there was some question who would do that work. I would just want to make sure that it proceeds very similar to the original.
Okay. Well,
and also
just all the mock-ups
Yeah.
that we saw showed that, and I just.
And the other thing too, it would be only on the, as you head south on Winton Road, that signage to the north of the village, not the other one because of being too close to the road.
Correct.
Kind of thing. We can't have anything permanent at the base because it has to be a certain distance away. Because we have brick.
You mean down by the park?
Yeah, that's originally where it was, the stone base, down the one by the park.
Yeah, I know Springfield Township has put stonework around there. so-
Yes, but they're much farther
Right
away
there.
from the road than
Okay.
we are. And what we have in that situation, we couldn't get without digging a slot or doing something. Can't remember if it falls away or climbs up.
Time's up.
We couldn't get, you get too far away, then nobody can see the sign. So it wouldn't affect that base. It would be only the one that's in the church yard up here in the corner.
And good find on that grounding wire.
Yeah.
Might come in handy if somebody wet from the pool comes up. Lights out
I've got a picture of it. They must be pretty embedded because it only unworked the staples or whatever, the nails. But I looked at that and I thought, wait, that's not good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I also, when you asked the question about the parade, I think I answered you incorrectly. We're looking for committee members,
Okay.
to be, members committee.
So not someone to organize the
Right,
parade?
it's a big task, so we thought it could be a committee effort.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
the slot is there, it's just you're expanding it to a committee size?
Correct.
Okay. Because I heard it from a resident, and I think they were saying, looking for somebody to head it up.
Yeah.
So,
Am I correct on that? You guys?
Well, I
Weren't
think
we
that,
looking for committee
the
members?
last I heard was that, it was going to be passed and see if someone in the, Historical Society was going to take over that,
Right.
and they're not.
They are not.
I
correct.
received that word that they're not.
Right.
And then we expanded it to say we would like committee members to all work together. Yeah, so committee members instead of a sole
okay.
chairperson,
Well, yep, and then- so the pitch goes to
multiple people.
multiple people, so if that's your interest, please contact Yvonne.
Sounds good.
All right, new business, resolution 2019-12-SNS, resolution authorizing assessments on certain properties in the village of Greenhills. Ms. Metz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2019-12-SNS, resolution authorizing assessments on certain properties in the village of Green Hills. Whereas the village has given proper notice to the owners of certain real property in the village of Green Hills regarding the removal of vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris from the properties listed below, and whereas the owners of said properties did not take action to remedy the violations, and therefore the village of Green Hills contracted to remove vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris, and now seeks to collect said expenses by authorizing the placement of a lien upon the lands and collect it as other taxes. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Green Hills, Ohio, Section 1, that the village hereby certifies that the cost of such labor, together with expenses relative thereto, be filed on the return and statement to the Hamilton County Commissioners as an assessment against the properties listed and placed as a lien against the properties by the Auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio, as follows. Parcel number 597-0030-0007-00, address of 83 Farragut Road, owner Spa, Timothy L. and Sherry L. at a cost of $205.80. Parcel number 597-0030-0161-00, address of 42 Hamlin Drive, owner of Brunk, Doris A. at a cost of $135.80. Parcel number 597-0010-0139-00, address 61 Ilona Drive, owner Thompson, Lisa Crumbine, at a cost of $135.80, and parcel number 597-0011-0031-00, address 104 Julep Lane, owner Hampton, Christopher L. and Ashley M., at a cost of $205.80, for a total of $683.20. Section 2. All amounts collected as a result of this resolution shall be placed into the general fund of the Village of Green Hills. Section 3. This resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt this resolution.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
Mr. Dries?
Aye.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Metz?
Aye.
Ms. Walter?
Aye.
Resolution 2019-12-SNS passes. Next resolution, 2019-13-SNS, resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Ampler Brothers for paving the municipal parking lot. Ms. Metz.
Resolution 2019-13-SNS, resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Trampler Brothers Paving for the paving of a municipal parking lot. Whereas the village solicited bids for the paving of a municipal parking lot located behind the American Legion building, and whereas Trampler Brothers Paving submitted the lowest and best bid for said project. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into a contract with Trampler Brothers Paving in an amount not to exceed $39,999 for the paving work the village desires to do on the municipal parking lot located to the rear of the American Legion building. Section 2, that the finance director is hereby authorized to pay an amount not to exceed $39,999 to the Trampler Brothers Paving for said services. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and at the soonest possible date. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions? Say anything?
No, other than we're excited to be moving forward on this. A small portion of that contract will actually be paid for by, Mr. Poffinci who owns the property, very small amount. But just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, clerk call the roll.
Ms. Walter?
Aye.
Ms. Metz?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
And Mr. Dries?
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2019-13-SNS passes. Calendar? Do you have anything?
Arbor Day, Friday, May 10th. Do we know what time and where?
Noon at Pioneer Park.
Noon at Pioneer Park. First concert on the Commons, Wednesday, May 29th at 7 p.m. First Park Talk, tentative, Tuesday, 5/21. The Planning Commission is meeting May 14th at 6 p.m. And we do have a work session on Tuesday, May 14th at 7 p.m.
Anything else?
June 11th, 2019, 7 o'clock, public hearing for the 2020 budget.
You said 7?
7.
Okay. All right, nothing else. Meeting adjourned.